Hey y'all, welcome to our podcast. Is this how it ends? I'm Nell,
I'm Soph.
and we're here to bring you a new episode.
Yeah, this is episode 9, girl. Season 2.
I
Girl,
know,
we've been
y'all.
doing this for a while. Y'all need to
Yes,
listen, all right, and follow
yes,
and do all the stuff.
yeah. You need to check us out. This last episode was hilarious.
Oh my God,
And
girl.
this
Janelle,
is
you
the
need to go
season
into
about
comedy for
it.
real.
I'm
Like,
working up the courage. This is helping
okay.
me to work up the courage a little bit. But
All right.
yes, y'all. So today in a normal, not so normal ish, there's always something to talk about. I like to call this the 100 Days of Fucketry. So last week commemorated Trump's 100th day in the office. Did you watch the speech, Soph?
I could not.
Yeah, it was. I caught the tail end of it, and it was pretty bad. So recently, he did an interview with Time Magazine marking the first 100 days of his second presidential term. And he made several claims that have drawn scrutiny and raised concerns about his cognitive health. Remember, they were getting Biden's ass, right? But I'm just saying. So, observers noted instances of factual inaccuracies, but he's always been inaccurate, but whatever, and
Mhm.
distorted statements during the interview. For example, Trump asserted that the US was losing 2 trillion a year on trade, a figure that significantly overstates the actual trade deficit, which was approximately 920 billion in 2024. He also claimed that many countries had emptied their prisons into the US, a statement lacking evidence. Additionally, he stated that grocery prices have decreased despite data indicating a 2.4% year over year increase in grocery prices as of March 2025. Like, like, how
Mhm.
do you just say things and they're just not true? I caught the end of it, and he was talking about how there's a wait list for the army. Girl, bye.
He's a liar though. Like he has no issues lying.
These remarks, among others, which I did, of course, pull some quotes for you that I know you would enjoy. These remarks, among others, have contributed to ongoing discussions about Trump's mental acuity. Some former aides and political analysts have expressed concerns about signs of cognitive decline, citing instances of slurred speech, forgetfulness, and incoherent statements. Notably, Trump's father, Fred Trump, suffered from Alzheimer's disease, which has led to speculation about potential hereditary factors. I looked on Reuters.com to see some highlights from his interview. I'm choosing these at random. So, what Trump had to say on US economic contraction. If you look at all of the years I've been doing this, I've been right on things. You're going to have the wealthiest country we've ever had, and you're going to have an explosion upward in the not too distant future. Do you feel
He
secure,
had
self?
he had several bankruptcies, so
Another issue he addressed: how can U.S. companies plan amid a tariff uncertainty? He said, I'll turn it around. How can they make long-term investments if our country is losing 2 trillion a year on trade? I had the head of Walmart, I had the head of Home Depot, and the head of Target in my office, and I'll tell you what they think. They think what I'm doing is exactly right. Woo, the lies, child. You know what he did to Bezos, right?
what do you do to Bezos?
All right. So, first of all, China, they are like the Kendrick Lamar of countries. I just want to say they're just petty. They'd be a Gemini. Okay. So, like on shops like Timu or Shein, they show the difference between the regular price, what it was before, and how much it costs with tariffs, right? So they
Mm.
would say, hey, we're not doing this. Here you go. So Bezos wanted to do that on Amazon.
All right, I heard about that. Mhm.
Yeah. And so Trump was like, you're not going to do that. And Bezos punked out.
Why are we afraid of him? You know what? Because they're getting a lot of money from the government for his Blue Origins. They're getting contracts from NASA. So for him to do that, he might lose out on that. Like he doesn't have enough billions. Like this man is building a giant clock in the middle of nowhere in the mountains with his own money. Like you could afford to get on this man's bad side.
But it's just like, I'm not paying $30 for a thotty bodysuit. Okay, I love me a bodysuit. That sets me in and pushes the girls up. And sometimes, every once in a while, I want to splurge on La Amazon. However, I was like, $30, $30, absolutely not. I already canceled my Amazon Prime, so I was doing the most, and also to be in solidarity with the peoples. Like, if no one's buying, it's already happening in terms of like the docs and all that. Like, if people aren't buying, then what's gonna happen? Because it's too expensive.
Yeah. I mean, those dock workers, I mean, I think they stood behind Trump, and now a lot of them are losing their jobs. If you don't have stuff coming in, there's no jobs.
I'll say a couple more and then we'll move on. On trade row with China and President Xi Jinping. Chinese people, sorry if I did not say that correctly. Okay, he's called, and I don't think it's a sign of weakness on his behalf. Oh, there's a number at which they will feel comfortable. Yeah, but you can't let them make $1 trillion from us. You can't let them make 750 billion. What, Soph? What? What does this mean? What does this mean? And I need to watch Fox because Fox does sanity washing, they call it. I'm like, how did you get that from this? It's a real stretch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people can't see through it all. Like I don't like what's happening. What is happening to us?
Yeah. And the man is also now cutting like research, like cancer, like all this medical research.
Yeah, they had this thing about scientists now. They're considering moving abroad because there's an attack on their profession.
Yeah.
We don't like science. We don't like facts.
This is so awful. All right, I'll do the last one. On relations with Canada, we're taking care of their military. We're taking care of every aspect of their lives, and we don't need them to make cars for us. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything from Canada. And I say the only way this thing really works is for Canada to become a state. Bish, absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think he's all there. Like, he's absolutely not all there. No, like, how are you around this man and allowing this to happen? Like, I don't even understand the mental gymnastics these people have to do to make themselves feel better about what is going on, like what he's doing to the American people. Like, this is insane. This is not based in reality.
It's not so. And the only thing I could think of is that because he's so cognitively off, like people are just, it's like a puppet kind of thing where people are just using him to like slip in all this stuff.
But we're losing a lot of money with, I don't think anyone wants this like trade war that he has happening.
This is
people are losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Like we are headed for a recession. Is this the second one of our lifetime?
We're in a recession. It's just getting worse.
Recession down to depression. Just, oh, child.
I know.
Child, it's real sad. So that's your president.
Not my president. I ain't vote for his ass. No,
I did not vote either, and we're all paying for this. Okay, now I had another story, but just shout outs to Riri because she's pregnant again with her third child.
Okay.
All right, this is what rich people can do.
Good for her. I didn't even know she had child number 2.
Yeah. My thing is, I'm not gonna get into it. Riri, you have money, you're beautiful. Yeah, you're down at the courthouse, with your man over some gun stuff. Like your life doesn't have to be a Tubi movie. You hugging him in the court, talking about they gonna name the next baby after the lawyer.
Girl, I told you this ain't real life. Not real life. So I'm just here. I'm just
But shout outs to her. Okay, this is Diddy dancing with the law. Girl, the trial starts today, okay?
Oh,
For
really?
yeah, the Sean Puffy Combs trial
Okay.
starts today. So
He
uh
has lawyers?
he has a team. Here's the thing. There's been so much swapping out. I don't know. And the last thing I heard, which was recently, they were trying to like say the plead insanity.
Mm-mm. I thought
Really?
they wanted him to take a plea deal, and he was like, "Nah."
Insanity how? On behalf of all the crazy people, we do not want his ass either. Absolutely not. No. Mm-mm. So I'm just shocked that he had to stay in jail this whole time. He's been trying to get out. Y'all don't get y'all wake up call. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all don't learn your lessons. You're blessed with all this wealth, access to whatever you want, and you use your money to hurt people. And now you think you deserve to be free. It's a whole other thing. But let me read about this. So Sean Diddy Combs' federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial commenced today in the Southern District of New York. The proceedings began with the jury selection expected to last several days, followed by an opening statement scheduled for May 12th. So he faces multiple federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering and conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Prosecutors allege that from 2004 to 2024, Combs operated a criminal enterprise through his music label, Bad Boy Records. Freak offs, you know all about that, right? Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges and declined a plea deal that could have reduced his sentence. So the key evidence at witness testimony from Cassie Ventura. Girl, Cassie. She's the one that like blew this up. So she's coming to testify.
I
All right,
mean,
Cassie.
live up to that bad boy label, right?
Rick.
How much you want to? You been to jail, you tough, and all that shit. Well,
Rick.
there you go.
I want him to be Diddy bopping on the cell block. Diddy bop on the cell block.
Bad boy for life.
Bar son. Bad boy for life without parole. That's what we going. Okay. There will also be the surveillance footage from when he assaulted Cassie and then evidence from the raids. Combs is asserting that all encounters were consensual and part of his personal lifestyle. Judge Aaron Subramanian, sorry for that pronunciation, is presiding over the case, and the trial is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks and will not be televised. Combs remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and has been denied bail due to concerns over potential witness tampering. So, yeah, I'm so sad that I cannot see the trial. I want to see Diddy looking all dehydrated and ashy. The Beijing is growing out. The Jing ain't jinging unless he made some jailhouse Beijing. Is that possible? I'm gonna do a Google on that. But I want to see him looking sad and pathetic, but we won't get to. So we'll just have to go off of some shady court drawings.
Yeah.
Shady as hell, okay? Do you think he's gonna get off?
I don't know. They have to do a really good job selecting people who are not biased, right? Like you have to have been living under a rock. I don't follow a lot of this stuff, but I know what's going on. We grew up with that man. Like we always knew he was shady. Like people like us,
Yeah.
like, guilty.
Like I'd be like, hang him high.
Yep, I don't care. I need 2 minutes less. Guilty. Because there's always been rumors about him. It's like Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, like there were always like these jokes, these comments. Like people knew what he was about, but he got away with it for a long time because he had money and power. So eventually, he fell. So that's.
Wait, is Bill Cosby still in jail?
He's not in jail. Remember Felicia Rashad? I think she like made a post and people dragged her for making a post. I'm like, yo, she can make a post all she wants.
Yeah, Felicia's gonna have her opinions. You know, by the way, no shout outs to Felicia Rashad because she was totally shady to me when I tried to get an ussy with her. But Debbie Allen was nice, and I got an Ussie with her.
Mm.
So I said,
Okay.
Felicia, you should have been nice to me. So now you don't get a shout out. Just saying. Hella petty.
Well, next time, Felicia, please give
Yeah.
Nels an
But I wish the Boondocks was around because you know how they did they talked about the R. Kelly trial.
Oh my
So
God,
I
yes.
would love what they would say about the Diddy trial.
They
But
said one of the episodes was about it. It was like, was it Thugalicious with the pink? And it was around the time where like Diddy was like wearing pink.
oh, wait, I got that thug in love. Oh
Was it
man.
Thugalicious? It was some rapper like all in like he was wearing all pink, and that was
Hmm.
like there was a time where like Diddy, remember like Diddy in like the pink fur coat.
Wait, was that Cameron with the pink fur?
Was it Cameron with the pink fur?
Cameron's the pink fur.
Okay.
Girl, we don't know about the devil's wardrobe changes, okay? We don't know. So
Mm.
they may have had a pink moment. Right now he's having an orange moment in that jumpsuit. I did read that he was trying to ask if he can wear a suit to the court. Like that's gonna make a difference.
It does though.
You think they're not gonna see him as a prisoner?
They might still see him
In a
as a
suit?
prisoner, but it's less in your face if he has on a suit. That could sway people. Not a huge difference, but optics play a role.
Okay,
You
well,
know.
I guess the devil shops at Men's Warehouse now. That's
Mm. Like I said, we don't know the devil's story, so I don't.
mm.
I don't know if we should put him in this mess. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so you trying to say don't put the devil and Diddy in the same category because
I don't
Diddy
know.
might
Like
be
we don't
worse
know.
than the
We
devil?
don't know the devil's story. Okay, we know Diddy's story.
The devil's like, look, I've done some stuff. I'm nosy as hell. So I'm gonna keep track of what's going on with the trial. So of course you'll all be tuned in. I want to see the jury selection. Okay. I want to see the jury selection. I
Mm.
want to know who he's gonna get. Okay. Don't get anybody that's a fan of Bad Boy. Okay. Just none of it. But I think there might be some leading questions. Like, let's say if the attorney asked, have you ever heard of the song Peaches and Cream by one? Have you ever had a velour sweatsuit in the early 2000s?
Have you ever said, "Take that, take that"?
I'm just saying, some of the questions they might figure it out. Girl, I want to be nosy. I want to go down to the courthouse. I just want to see if there's supporters out here. The R. Kelly trial was actually right downtown Brooklyn. And so I would see aunties with their free R. Kelly signs playing music. And I was
Girl,
just so disappointed.
did you see the thing where R. Kelly was singing to someone from jail?
Oh,
What is wrong with people? Was it at her wedding? Like I
oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
no, this is not real life. I will say
No,
this.
not at all. This is totally ridiculous.
This oh my God. This I don't know what's happening. Like I don't know.
Yeah, so that's it, y'all, for a normal, not so normal ish.
Oh girl, we're gonna keep this circus going, okay? And what you were talking about ties really well into this. How you want to watch the trial, you want to watch Diddy's downfall and all of that. For our main topic, we're going to talk about humiliation in media, whether it's self-inflicted or just someone caught slipping at the wrong time. You did something and boom, it's caught, it's viral, and that's it.
Hmm.
Everyone knows your name, like we're sharing it, all of that. So, and this came about from 2 episodes ago when we talked about Black Mirror, that episode Common People.
Hmm.
It left a stain. Like I can't stop thinking about it, from time to time. Like this man, it was awful what he had to do.
Hmm.
Like he felt his desperation. What would you do like to keep someone you love alive, a friend, a spouse, a child? It was just unsettling to think about that scenario. But the most disturbing thing to me was just, how people, I mean, people didn't know the background of his story, but like people ate up his humiliation.
Yeah.
They thrived off of that. It was like a drug. The lower he went, the higher they got, like the more views, the more likes, the more money. And I was like, man, this is not a what if scenario. It's the new normal. So we love to see others' humiliation. I remember a few weeks ago, There was a guy that went viral. I don't know if you saw this. And it's because his girlfriend broke up with him on live TV, right? Something that should have been super personal, private, was put out there for everyone to see. Like no remorse, no empathy. Like she just went, like, how do you do that? Like, how do you go live on social media and break up with your guy?
That is so humiliating. Like, what? Why would you? The internet is forever.
It
Why
is
would you want it
forever.
out there?
And you know they ate it up, right? They screen recorded it, they shared it, they added clown music, they added all the stuff.
Oh,
Like they dragged him, like they dragged her too, but it was mostly him getting all the, like getting poked fun at. And I'm just like, yo, and I think this is a trend. So I was talking to my daughter because she's on Instagram more than I am. And
mhm.
she was saying, like, this is apparently a trend. I hope it's not real. I hope it's fake because for you to do that, that's
Some
bottom of the barrel behavior, man. That is trash.
they do skits, and so sometimes you can't tell.
Yeah.
But either
But that says
way,
a lot about us that like this is the kind of stuff like we won't like we'll eat up, like we won't bypass it, right? You see like a cute puppy pass, like someone getting dumped, be like, ooh, I'm gonna lean into that.
now what does it say if you watch the cute puppy and the person getting dumped? Just ask it for a friend.
Humans are complex, I guess.
Like, I try to live my life right, but sometimes
Yeah.
the tree calls me, but I get it.
I know it does draw you in. We're obsessed with it. And we've always been like that. Back in the day, people literally crowded at the Times Square to watch someone get punished.
Mhm.
The whipping, what is that is that the stocks where like your head and stuff is like you're just out there just in it, like people are just passing by, making fun, throwing shit at you. The
Mhm.
Scarlet Letter, that was their entertainment. I guess you can say it's just baked into us.
Yes.
It's just baked
Yes.
into who we are. And now with smartphones, it's just worse. That stuff never dies. Remember Jerry Springer, Maury, Bad Girl
Yes.
Club?
Yes. Wow.
Girl, like we like that stuff just it was so bad. Like these
It was
people, like
real
their,
bad.
like their breakdowns, their pain, like those shows were so popular.
They're so popular, and here's the thing, right?
Hmm.
We forget that there's places in the world that are exposed to certain images of us.
Hmm.
And so I remember I was in high school and I went to Turkey, and there were very few like channels like in English,
Hmm.
but they did have Jerry Springer, and I was like, wow. And I think when I went to Senegal too, I think Jerry Springer was there too. I was
Oh
like, how
my
is
God.
Jerry Springer international?
We didn't care about the stories. We just wanted to see the fight. Like, who's gonna throw a chair? That's
Yeah.
all we wanted.
So after a while, there wasn't even a storyline. They just rang a bell like ding, 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 fight. I was like, oh wow. We just no
Right?
kind of plot, no nothing. Just
Yeah. And
ding, ring
Maury,
the bell and go.
and like for Maury, we just wanted to hear that he's not the father. We didn't care. Like, and if he was the father, like, yo, man, why are we tuning in for this shit?
Yeah, I would be disappointed.
Right? We just want to know he is not the father.
And that girl knew that, and she running away all the way in the back, got the
Right?
cameraman
And they always
running.
running. It's like,
Girl,
girl,
we
you
knew
knew. You
you.
knew.
She was like, oh, I knew Montravius. That was my man. Or sometimes, look, Jerry was an equal opportunity exploiter, okay? It wasn't just, the Rashades. It was also from the trailer park A, all right? If you
He
listen,
got them all.
he got them all.
Like I'm still ashamed that I watched Flavor of Love,
So do not be ashamed, okay? That was a pivotal time in television history. We were introduced to the Capricorn Queen, New York, who's been a staple in reality TV since
Mhm.
forever.
Did she get like passed over twice by him? Like
Yes,
the things they did for him, like I'm just like, yo, this like how much money this man got?
not that much.
Y'all the oh
I
God.
remember New York. She's like, the same damn wound flave, the same damn wound flave. That's like, look, some man telling he don't want you multiple times, that hurts.
That does her. And then he
But
ends up with like Bridge, like
that was my show, okay? That was my show. Flavor Foofy Foofy. Come here. Flavor Foofy Foofy Foofenstein.
I love when he met her family. They're like, yo,
But after a while, I kind of liked them together. I don't know. I kind of liked it.
I didn't watch it, so
Okay.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah, but we do love to see people's downfall. And we love it even more when it's like the celebrity, the influencer, that perfect couple. Did you see the way they were clowning Tiny? Because she was on stage, like, I guess she looked like she's had a lot of work done, right? And you could kind of understand, right? Because of the industry that
I
she's
did.
in. People were dragging her, for not looking young or for trying to look young. They are especially harsh when it comes to older women. Like if you like past that 35,
Yeah.
they
It's
love to
really
drag
tough. It's really tough. And I think Tiny looked fine the way she was before.
She did.
She looked fine because now it's just a botched mess. I feel bad for her. It's tough to be in the public eye and people were talking about your looks before
Mhm.
and you try to change it and people still talking about your looks and
Yeah, you can never win. But why do you think we love this so much, Janelle?
I think it's a couple of reasons. I
Mhm.
think one, life is pretty shitty. And so if you see someone else having a shittier life than you, it gives you some kind of comfort. Um, and I think too, I think a lot of us are voyeurs, and
Mhm.
I know I'm a voyeur, okay? Just saying. I am very nosy. I want to know what's going on in all
Mhm.
facets. Just to mention I'm very single. Just saying. But I really want to know how people do things. I'm just someone that's curious in that way. But I think if you have a soul, it can feel really icky after a
Mhm.
while. Like reality shows are a hot mess, and we talked about
Mhm.
them just now. But one in particular, just the whole network, the Zeus network, which I'm sure I've talked about it before.
Mhm.
And I used to watch it, and I felt bad because a lot of these women were like sex workers and they were just trying to get a break. But a lot of them had like a lot of trauma.
What show is this?
There was a couple of them. There was like the baddies, which used to be
Mm,
an offshoot of a Bad Girls Club. But at least
okay.
Bad Girls Club in the beginning, they used to like have therapy sessions and try to do
Mhm.
things. They were hoes with hearts. But this one, child,
Those with
like,
hearts.
yeah, hoes with hearts. But this, just the one like Jocelyn's Cabaret, is it's just very disturbing to watch because it was like a pimp hoe mentality. But this time she was the pimp, but she's been on the other end of it too, and these girls are just clamoring for her approval. And when you hear their stories, you're just like, oh my goodness, just like so much trauma, and they're fighting. Ooh, I said I can't watch this. I just took it off my screen. I can't watch this.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's tough.
it is tough, but we do love that. There's a word for it.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a German word that literally means harm joy, a
Mm-hmm.
secondhand thrill we feel when someone else fails, they stumble, or they crash. It feels safe online, right? You're a little bit removed from it because it's not in your face. It's someone else's disaster. So when
Yeah.
you see someone crying on TikTok because their man cheated or whatever, right? So it makes us you do feel better. You're like, well, at least that's not my life. It's hard out here. So you like knowing that maybe you're not the only one whose life is just falling apart. So you like to see that. What's crazy is the algorithm feeds you that.
Yeah.
Like we love it and the algorithm knows we love it. So it keeps feeding it to us. So we see it all the time and we don't just watch it. We have to share it. We have to joke about it. What's crazier to me though is people who actively volunteer to embarrass themselves and just put their shit out
Yeah.
there. Like Black Mirror, that guy, it was out of desperation to save his wife. But there are people out here going after these views, these likes, and just putting their business out there. We are living in a shameless era.
Make shame great again. How about
Yes,
that?
girl, make shame great again. Remember the Carnival girl? She's an American living in Trinidad.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And she was at Trinidad Carnival and she couldn't find a bathroom. So she went searching and took a shit on a tombstone and then she posted about it. The whole time I was watching this, I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, why are you doing this? Like why? And it's a thing. Like people do this all the time. Like they'll put their business out there. Like it's just I don't know what's happening. Like I get it, right? Like shit happens, but
Literally shit happens in
Yeah,
our sleep.
we've all made questionable decisions, right? Especially when drinks are flowing, but we don't need to put it out there.
All right.
Like secrets just stay secrets.
I have an interesting take on this because I feel like I'm someone that overshares sometimes. There's a balance that
Mhm.
you have to, and I found that me sharing certain things or certain experiences, I don't know. I feel like good connecting with other people. Granted,
Mhm.
but there's limitations.
Yes.
There's limitations, and there's things I could share more, but I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm just very cautious.
Yeah.
And so I get the wanting to connect and like
Mhm.
story times and stuff like that. However, no one needs to know that you shitted on a
Yeah.
tombstone. We have to have some kind of, and even people that cry on social media.
Or
Or
have their kids cry on social media and they like,
yeah, or you're in like the hospital, like with your phone, like, oh my god.
Like that girl, her kid was in ICU. He was like in critical condition. She's just doing these dances. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'm just like, what? It's just not the first thing that I think of when I'm going in a crisis to post myself crying or anything that's
Yeah.
really embarrassing.
There
Well,
should be a line. There should be a
yeah,
line.
people being
But
transparent about their experiences isn't
Mhm.
necessarily a bad thing, but I think we all need to have a line somewhere.
Yeah.
Just
When I see your stuff, I'm not watching it like, ooh, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like it's just, but I think there's some like it's okay to keep secrets, right? It's okay for things to be
yeah,
just for you. Like if you're shitting on a tombstone, first of all, there's no toilet paper, I'm assuming, and then she's gonna go back out there and dance up on somebody, several
just
somebodies.
having her booty boomsy just all over.
Yeah, and she's an idiot because Junie plays mass. Like he's done Trinidad Carnival, and he was like, "There's a whole truck with nothing but porta potties."
Yes, or she could have stopped at a restaurant. Like, girl, you could have done a store or something. There's
Yeah, I don't think they have like
all
stores where the parade route is, but there are
Mhm.
actually like ask somebody, like ask like just
There's a lot of options, sis.
first of all, again, you did that
Mm.
fine. Like, we've all again we make questionable decisions sometimes, but just
Yes.
we don't need to put it out there. Nels, what have you seen? Like anything that you've seen that you're like, why did you post this? Like, what was that internal monologue that led to, I think this is a good idea.
Well, we're going to talk about this anyway, but pop the balloon.
Mm,
So I think this is the ultimate humiliation ritual. And here's why. Okay. So you're married, okay? You've been out of these dating streets for a very long time, okay?
yeah.
And I suggest you never have to come here, okay? It's
Mm,
awful. But if you've done online dating, the beauty of doing online, it's awful, but the beauty of doing it is you can swipe and you can say the things out loud that you don't like. Like, I'll be sitting on the toilet swiping, like, ooh, child, look at that forehead. Swipe left. Ooh, absolutely not. Did you take this picture with a potato? Swipe. Ooh, child, absolutely not. Why you got all these friends in this picture? I just say these things out loud. But the person on the other end doesn't hear it. They don't
mhm,
know. I don't need to know the inner thoughts as to why someone does not like me. Just dating as a whole is pretty humiliating nowadays.
mhm.
And to now have this show, Pop the Balloon, for those of you that don't know, Pop the Balloon is a show that started on YouTube with Arlette Amuli and her husband, BM. And there have been different offshoots of this show. So basically, the show is there's a lineup of men or a lineup of women. There's a host, and then a man or a woman comes out, depending on whose turn it is. So let's say there's a lineup of men, and they all have red balloons and like a toothpick. And so as soon as if you see the person you're not attracted to them, you pop your balloon. And so then the woman who has to like choose from these men, she talks to them and then they say to each other, why didn't you like her? And vice versa. And whoever has the balloon at the end, they choose each other.
Mm.
You think it would have been harmless enough, but I'm a sensitive soul, okay? I don't want to come out as like pop, 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 pop right away. You know,
Yeah.
feelings are gonna be hurt. And second of all, let me tell you something. Like insults from other countries hits totally different.
Oh.
There's different versions of pop the balloon, okay?
Mhm.
And so my favorite, because I used to be really into the show until it got really hard to watch, is
Mhm.
the African ones, okay? The African ones, okay? I learned a little lingo. So some will come up. Look at here. First of all, shout out to diaspora, but some of y'all outfits be a little bit interesting, okay? The men will have a silk shirt and then some like church pants and then some African chancletas. And I'm like, what is going on? This
Or some pointy toe
was
shoes.
the pointy to Ooh, child, we have all kinds of genres
Oh my
in
god.
one outfit. You know, it's very materialistic. And so some will pop the balloon because the host will be like, why you not like his outfit? And she goes, oh, he's not my spec. That's what they say. He's not my spec. He's not my spec. Oh, look at the shoes. When you get your haircut, this is not my spec. That is my impersonation. Don't ask me what area of Africa that is from. Might be West Africa.
I apologize to anyone
Sorry, y'all, for
listening who
any
are
of that.
of African
We
descent.
don't want to lose any of our 35 followers on YouTube that are
But
part of the
Janelle is
band.
a equal opportunist, so she'll get everyone.
Exactly. I insult everybody. Okay. And just there was one episode that was just so bad. So there's this young woman who went there and she had a little sundress. She looked sweet, but the guy just pop, 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 pop. And so the host asked, why did you pop the balloon? The guy said, oh, look at her. She look like somebody's auntie. Look like somebody's auntie. Why are you going on a picnic in that dress? You look like you have 5 children at home. What are you doing here?
What?
Girl. The girl started crying. She was like, oh, this is the only dress I had, and I took the bus, over here. So the men felt bad. So they decided to like whatever their version of Cash App is over there. They Cash Apped her some money. I hope she dried her tears with it, but it's digital, so she couldn't. It's just really rough. And then you see the really superficial reasons why people aren't getting together. And yes, it's a superficial show, but people are absolutely ridiculous. And it just makes you lose all faith in humanity as a whole. And who would sign up for this? I don't want to hear why you don't like me. Absolutely not. And
Especially once this show becomes popular, you know what it's about. And now it's like on like Netflix.
And let me tell you something, okay? Gentrified all the way. They have sucked the soul out of the show. It is awful. It is awful. So I mean, shout outs to Arlette and BM for some that they started, making it to Netflix. I hope they got their money. Yes. But at the same time, the show sucks now.
I mean, it didn't suck before. Like it was.
I mean, it was awful before, but
it had a soul before. Like, is it? It had flavor. It had spice.
At least like there was some like character to it. Yeah, it's awful. But it's a humiliation ritual in itself. The inner thoughts that you have and swiping, no one should see them. No one should experience this. And even if you do regular dating, it's still so much anxiety. So just this and the fact that we're watching it and that we're into it.
Yeah, we're so desensitized. Like we have no empathy, right? Like we don't think twice about telling someone you look like you have 5 kids.
That's rough.
Right? Is it because they're on the show and they know that's what they want? It's the same thing with reality TV. They just pile them with alcohol constantly and put them in situations that they know is going to rile people up. But it seems we can't be that trash, girl. Like we just can't.
Just one more thing to rewind back. We talk about the girl with 5 kids. People on this show. Sorry, this is step on my soapbox. Call me judgmental, But if you have multiple kids and multiple baby daddy mamas, you should not be on the show.
I saw that one. I've seen like 2, 3 episodes. I saw one like that.
It's hella embarrassing. A man will say, "Hey, I don't want one with kids." So she pop her balloon. And they come over to her. The host asks, "So, why did you pop your balloon?" Well, he says that he doesn't want one with kids. And so he's like, "How many kids you got?" "I got 5 kids. And one is 5 months old, but I'm here." Girl, bye. Girl, where are your priorities?
Like, why are you here, sis? Like, why are you here?
How did you find the time to be here? Who's watching all them kids?
And I don't blame you for dating. Like, you could date. I mean,
Yeah.
after like having a man leave you when you have a 5-month-old, I think you should reevaluate a couple of things. I
Yeah.
don't know, girl. I just
A man with 6 kids. A man on there with 6 kids. How
man,
are you good for anybody? Sorry. Ugh.
but okay, girl.
Yeah.
I wanted to end with some conspiracy theories.
Yes.
So, there's a conspiracy theory that says when it comes to celebrities, they have to embarrass themselves to get famous, that
Mhm.
there's some sort of humiliation ritual before Hollywood lets you all the way in.
Mhm.
And some of the examples they use or they've come up with, you had Britney's breakdown in 2007, Kanye's VMA moment when he interrupted Taylor Swift,
Mhm.
Doja Cat's chat room spiral, the Will Smith slap. The Doja Cat one was insane because people dragged her, asked for her to be canceled, and then months later is all the Grammys and
Well,
TikTok domination.
so maybe there's some truth to it.
But the thing is, most of these people were already famous when this stuff happened, right? So maybe the theory is not wrong, but just incomplete. Like maybe it's not the ritual to get famous. Maybe it's the price you have to pay to stay famous. It's the price you have to stay to remain like in the spotlight. And I think we talked about this before. Like when it comes to fame these days, you got to work for it, right? You're not just crafting your art. You're not just making movies. You're endorsing alcohol, jeans. You got makeup. You got underwear. Like all that requires for you to sell those. It requires for you to be relevant, and you don't always have a movie or an album dropping. So you may need a little drama. Some spectacle, and a public fall might give you a little boost. So and Will Smith is slowly coming back from that slap. Like I think he has a movie or something. Am I wrong?
I thought he had a movie that came out a while ago. I don't
Mm.
know. Fame as a whole is a humiliation ritual.
Yeah, it is. And there's the one that's also focused on Black men in Hollywood that says in order for them to break through,
Mhm.
they're often pressured to wear a dress on camera.
Yep.
You had Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House, Jamie Foxx as Wanda. I love
Mhm.
Wanda.
I
Yeah, you have Eddie Murphy. I mean, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry loved. I don't think anyone offered him. I just think he was like,
think he volunteers.
he volunteered.
He
Um,
volunteers.
there was a Kevin Hart. He was on SNL for a bit. I was like, this is so random. Like, why are you on SNL in a fucking dress?
No, you're famous enough. Like, why?
Right? They asked Dave Chappelle, and he was like, no. Like, why are all these Black men asked to put on a dress?
Yeah.
Like why? So it's like I don't know, maybe it's comedy, but it just seems like a pattern to me. And I think Cat Williams also talked about it, but it's a pattern to me, like so. But yeah, to your point, I think yeah, fame. I don't know, it's less like a dream. It's almost like a deal you make.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna talk about my girl Beyonce, but I'm gonna talk about her a little bit. Okay, because I'm actually gonna see Cowboy Carter.
Mhm.
There's speculation about her twins
What's the speculation?
that they are on the spectrum.
Mm,
And even I think Kanye might have said something recently about that. Not that that is anyone's business,
mhm,
but she's been having Rumi, that's the girl twin.
mhm.
She's been coming out, but we haven't seen the boy. And it could be for a lot of reasons or whatever. And I just wonder, like, why would you I don't know. Like, why would you put your children out on the stage?
Yeah. I mean, the oldest girl, like, what is she, 13, 14, and she looks grown as hell on that stage. But
She's 13, and I saw the Renaissance movie, and she was saying that Blue said she wanted to do it, and I was just like, oh,
I mean,
all
they can
right.
want to do it, but I just think that I mean, the pace of that stuff, right? The amount of work that goes into it, like that's fine and all, but I just wouldn't have my kid on. You know what? I don't know. Like I'm not. You raise your kid how you want.
I don't know. I just don't think kids should be in the spotlight like that. I just don't.
Yeah, but I guess how is it different if they were like on a Disney show or a Nickelodeon show, right? It's kind of like it's still the same thing, right? A child
Just
actor
show
plays a different.
business. Just show business in general. I don't think kids should be in
Mhm.
show business, honestly.
All that stuff I think is driven by parents, like especially when they're younger. It's no kid is saying I want to do commercials or I want to be a baby on this show. Like that's the
Mm.
parents.
It's really messed up because of the things that they tell you, like what you have to do. And so,
Mhm.
little sidebar. So when my mom tried to have me do the show stuff, I can't act my way out of a paper bag, okay? Vocals maybe, acting absolutely not. So we were with a cousin's management, and you take pictures and you meet with them, and there's these two white ladies. I don't know if it's still operational. Anyway, so they were telling my mother that, oh, she can't get any darker. She meaning me. Like, she's a good shade for like a dark family or a light family, but she can't get any darker. Yeah, man. So when I was like with my Muslim babysitter, shout outs to Sister Mina, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I can't go out, I can't go out in the sun. We would do like our walks or whatever. And she was like, are you kidding me? She's the one that took me to Slave One Theater on Fulton Street, all right, to see Sankofa. That's the most traumatizing movie you will ever see about slavery, okay? So to be out
So
here, let me cover my skin so I don't get darker. It's wild.
so your mama heard this and she thought it was fine.
No
Mm.
comment. So you understand, like, so imagine what these kids are, hearing about what you gotta look like. I'm sure there's issues with weight.
Oh yeah, like of course.
Yeah.
Um
I tried it for the Mickey Mouse Club. They go up and down. They look at you and they're like, "Okay, you. Here you go. You like that." Yeah. So yeah,
mm,
I just think it's just fame. It's a humiliation ritual in itself,
mhm.
and I would be protecting my child as much as I could.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I just look at celebrity in a totally different way now. Than I used to. I
Yeah.
used to be really into pop culture and stuff so much, but not as much as I used to because I think it's all like it's unnatural
It
as
is
a
unnatural.
it's,
I love Beyonce's music, although I've
mhm.
yet to listen to her album.
Cowboy Carter is that girl.
Yeah. But
Dang.
like sometimes I just when you hear her talk or you hear like I'm just like she makes music for us, but she doesn't like I don't think she could relate if you were to meet her like one on one. Like you know what I
There's
mean?
there's no way you can relate when you've been rich longer than you've not been rich. Just
Mhm.
your
And not only that, you've been that rich, but your lifestyle is insane too. You know what I mean? Like she cultivates this image. It just makes her seem like she's not real.
you know what? In her defense, she came from an era where it was okay. Like, we had Michael Jackson. His whole life was surreal. Like,
Mhm.
and it was okay. I think now we're in an age where we feel like we're supposed to like have these parasocial relationships, and it's not enough for you to just perform. That's your job. Now you have to be relatable. Now we got to see inside your home. Now we
Mhm.
got to see your family. Like it just keeps on, doing that. And I think for someone like her,
Yeah. I
that's
mean, I don't
investment.
yeah. I agree with that. I don't think just because you're a celebrity, you shouldn't have to share every single thing with us. I think where I'm going with this is that like people like to look to them and look up to them and like idolize them and do all of this stuff. I'm like, they they cannot relate to the average person.
It's just all humiliation. I just think like just to entertain people, even like what people do on TikTok sometimes, where it's like you got to grab people's attention. And so you're dancing and you're just doing all these things to
Mhm.
like get to grab people. It's almost like it's a little bit humiliating to me, what
Mhm.
you have to do to get attention or to go viral. Um, you
Yeah,
know.
and that like it loves it. It feeds on it. The internet is like 60% bots, and all they do is like, and they try to keep you engaged. And the best way to
Mhm.
keep people engaged is to trigger them.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Like people who argue on forums, I don't understand it.
Look, back in the day, I used to do that, okay? I used to be arguing on the Facebook. However, I've stopped. But here's the thing. I don't like to debate. But somehow people think because I make a statement, we're going to debate. Absolutely
Mhm.
not. Someone tried to debate me about a video I posted where the guy was on a college campus and he asked, would you save your man or would you save Beyonce? And so, most of the women asked, most of them said Beyonce, right? But the girls were saying, oh, I would choose Beyonce because my man's a cheater. I would choose Beyonce because my man ain't shit or whatever. And so this guy ends up going in my like comments and like not comments, but he DMs me and he starts like talking about like that's wrong, that's wrong. And I was just like, why is it wrong for the young girls to not want to save someone that's mistreating them? And then it just went into this whole like black men and black women. I don't want to do this. It makes no point. I don't want to have these
Mm.
discussions because men never take accountability. And we just have two different things that's going on. Your feelings versus women's lives. I don't
Mhm.
care about how you feel because a girlfriend you mistreated would choose Beyonce over you. It was funny. That was it.
Yeah.
I don't want to debate. Absolutely not. It makes me angry, Soph. It makes me very angry
I think
because
I had like one instance where somebody wanted to, I was like, block, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not, like,
no
like social
TikTok.
media makes me anxious. Like, if, like, eh,
No, TikTok, especially, that's where the crazies reside. Okay, they be getting in my ass on TikTok. Bring it on, bitch. I do not care.
no, I read those comments and I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go watch some cats or something.
But one
I'm
time you kind of rolled up and Harvey did as well. Shout outs to Harvey. Yeah.
I had like one comment. I was like, okay, that's it. Because these
You
people,
got
like,
a little spicy a little bit,
these
but
people will do this all day. They will do it all day. That's why
yeah,
you ain't got no job. Like, you ain't got, like,
got no
you don't have
job,
nothing better to do.
nothing to watch, nothing to read.
Sometimes you'll see them back and forth. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It is wild and it's easy to get caught up in it. I got caught up on TikTok not too long ago. And I was like, I don't like doing this. Why? Like, why do you care what I say? Why does it matter? It's not going to change anything. You are not going to change my mind.
So social media, like, it's just, they just live to be contrarians. Like, you could say
Yeah.
like the sky is blue. Like, well, I don't like that color and I find it offensive. So, like, settle down.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you say, someone needs to say the opposite. Like, you could just post like the most like benign picture and somebody will find offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's crazy out
yeah,
there.
girl.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
just want to say, watching our podcast, there's no humiliation rituals over here. All right.
no.
Just saying, I mean, I might embarrass myself and by proxy embarrass Soph because she's in this with me and she's not escaping. So, yeah, but that's it. But yeah, that's not necessary to be
Mm-mm.
entertaining.
Yo, I'm like, the asteroid is gonna come for us. And the aliens are gonna hover and be like, should we save them? They're gonna be like, nah. Because if we save their ass, they're gonna make memes about almost dying. So fuck them. Oh, girl. This is
All right.
life.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you like the vibe, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all. Deuces.